Hey everybody, Deplorable Bobby here. Today I'm doing this report from inside my car. I've brought my 8-year-old blind schnauzer to PetSmart to get her monthly grooming. So while I'm waiting on her, I thought I would go ahead and do a short video. I want to thank my subscribers. As I always say, you're the most important person on this channel. I want to ask you to comment, hit the like button, and tap the bell icon so you'll know when I'm going live or posting a video. If you're not a subscriber, I'd like to ask you to please subscribe to my channel and leave a comment. I've recently learned that people who subscribe to channels and do not like or leave a comment on a video, over a period of time, YouTube will purge those subscribers and remove them from your channel. I want to thank Dangerous Freedom. Dangerous Freedom sent me a very patriotic and kind PayPal donation, and I want to thank you so much, Dangerous Freedom, for your kind donation. My PayPal information is in the link below. If you'd like to contribute to this channel and help me grow, it's greatly appreciated. Any amount, no matter how small, will be a great help to this channel. Today I want to tell you a little story about a 10-week-old baby. This is heart-wrenching. 24-year-old Jason Paul Robin is charged with murder, and Catherine Wyndham White, 21 years old, is charged with injury to a child by omission. That means that she stood around and she let this child be abused and did nothing about it. So she was complacent in the murder of this 10-week-old infant. But there's more to this story, people. These demonic parents of a 10-week-old Houston infant were arrested this week after an autopsy revealed the infant had 96 bone fractures and a cracked skull. 10 weeks old, people, 96 fractures. Jasmine Robin, the little girl's name, was born prematurely, and she died on July 15th. The very people who were supposed to protect and nurture her through her entire life were in fact the evil monsters who ended little Jasmine's life. How in the world could anyone, no matter how evil or demonic you are, could you do this to a 10-week-old baby? You know, detectives were called to the hospital after staff found clearly inflicted head trauma. An autopsy of little Jasmine revealed she suffered 71 rib fractures. That means her ribs were broken 71 times in 71 different places. People, along with your diaphragm, your ribs are what help you breathe. I don't know exactly what caused the death of this little girl, but the broken ribs alone would have made it almost impossible for her to even take a breath. But you know, besides the 71 rib fractures, she had 23 long bone fractures. Long bones are your shin bones, your femur bone, your ulna and radius, and your humerus. Can you believe that? 23 long bone injuries. It totaled to 96 fractures, including her cracked skull. So far, these people have only been arrested. I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't know when they're going to go before a judge. But I promise you, I'm going to stay on top of this one, and I'm going to try to follow this right through to conviction and imprisonment or death. People, this is a crying shame. This is probably the saddest and most horrific story I've ever brought to you about a child. It literally breaks my heart to know how that little child must have suffered. People, it's evil. It's demonic. These people have to be possessed to ever do this to a child. Let's pray that these two demons get the death penalty or at least life in prison. But now I want to tell you another little short story. 27-year-old Eugene Chandler and 26-year-old Shalib Brumfield of Danville, Virginia, they were arrested this week after a grand jury indicted them for felony homicide and abuse and neglect of a child. Police officers responded to the Danville home where they found Chandler holding an unresponsive infant. The officers performed CPR on the child, but she was pronounced dead at the hospital. Police said there were no physical signs of trauma on the infant at all. After searching the home, police discovered evidence of drug use, and an autopsy revealed this, people. The cause of death of that infant, that little child, was acute heroin and cocaine overdose. Can you believe that? This little baby died from cocaine and heroin intoxication. You know, these devils have been arrested and held without bail, but people, this is another story that just breaks my heart, and I find it hard to believe, actually. But I know it to be true. People, pray for our children. This is happening way too much and way too often. One time is too many. But it seems like it's every day. We're getting stories of people who simply harm or murder their children. I tell you, people, I pray for God's grace on America, because America is turning their back on God just like they've been doing for the last 100 years, maybe 1,000 years, I don't know. But with things like this happening in our country, you know that in a lot of areas of the country and a lot of people, this is a godless nation. I pray that God will come back one day and He'll make things right. Because right now, everything right is wrong, and everything that's wrong is right. People, pray for our children. But I want to do one more little quick story, and this is on politics. Well, not actually politics. It's about the Iranian it's about the Iranian president and what he's had to say to Trump. A spokesman for Iran's foreign ministry said that the new U.S. sanctions that target the supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, and his officials permanently ends any chance of diplomacy between Iran and the U.S. Recently, President Trump imposed sanctions on the supreme leader and his affiliates. And that literally is blocking billions of dollars, and they're not happy about it. They said that this will be the end of any chance for peace talks. They said it won't happen. Iran's President Rouhani, he mocked the White House and said the White House is afflicted by a mental retarded person. So, according to Iran and a lot of Democrats, President Trump is plagued with mental retardation. Can you believe that, people? You know, the Iran and the U.S. have seen tensions increased in the past few weeks. You know, after an initial U.S. sanctions squeeze that led to the Iranians' attack on 2 oil tankers in the Straits of Hormuz because we imposed more sanctions. The situation became increasingly dire after Iran admitted to downing a U.S. Navy drone. And for that reason, we all know that Trump called off an attack on Iran because it was going to kill 150 people, and he didn't want to be the one to draw first blood in this conflict. You know, another Iranian official, Abbas Musawi, he called out Trump. He called out Trump's latest decision to impose additional sanctions, and it means closing all channels of diplomacy forever. Trump's desperate administration is destroying established international mechanisms for maintaining world peace. Well, yeah, I don't think he's doing that. I think that you already have done that, Iran, and you've done it over and over and over again. Your words against the President of the United States, I'm sure, rolls off of him like a drop of water. I'm sure the President, and certainly not I, care what you think or what you have to say. But you know, by adding these harsher sanctions on the Ayatollah and his affiliates, literally locks up billions of dollars of Iranian assets. And Trump has stepped up cyber attacks. Cyber attacks on Iranian intelligence and radar installations have shut down Iran's missiles and radar systems. So you see, people, we didn't have to send warplanes and ships to attack Iran. We achieved the exact same outcome, which was to destroy their missiles and their ability to use them. And Trump, being the maestro that he is, he did just enough. He ended their ability to fire missiles. I'm sure they're probably going to get them back up, but I don't think that, even if they get their missile system up and running again, I don't think it'll last long. I think by the time they do that, this conflict, if you want to call it that, will either go away or lessen, or it's going to get a whole lot worse. Either way, I'm putting myself behind President Trump and whatever decision that he feels he has to make to protect this country and to protect our allies and assets. People, I'm Deplorable Bobby. This is the way I see it. Pray for each other. Pray for our poor children. Pray for the aborted, those still in the womb. Pray for the ones exploited and trafficked and abused and sexually abused and murdered, sometimes by their own parents. It's a sad day in America when we have to hear these things about these poor little infants. Pray for me and pray for Michelle that we'll do the right thing. I'll talk to y'all later.